Good afternoon, everyone. So we've heard a little bit about remote today. At Avail, we're taking an approach that you can't go hardware first, you can't go software only. You actually need to combine the two. In many respects, you should be thinking about this as the Apple solution, if you will. You want to control the entire ecosystem. You want the hardware to work with the software together to enable an experience that is repeatable, dependable, and reliable, and in that way provide access from outside the operating room inside the operating room for technique and technology introduction, for procedure support, for clinical trial management. I'm going to start with a short video to give you a sense of how our technology works.
Connect, collaborate, be a part of the procedure. Introducing procedural telemedicine, pioneered by Avail, a purpose-built hardware-software platform that connects a network of physicians and medical device industry experts to enable interactive, real-time collaboration during procedures. A remote physician, medical expert, or medical device representative answers a call from a treating physician on their laptop or iPad, and instantly they're in the procedure, able to control cameras and imaging views from the Avail console, switch between inputs, zoom in and zoom out, freeze the frame, split the screen, and annotate to collaborate in real time.
Calcium is right in the center, not letting the balloon inflate.
Yeah, so we're dead center to that calcium. I'm at almost 30 atmospheres in the balloon and it's not even budging.
Throughout the procedure, both parties can communicate two-way as if they're together. The Avail console is a self-contained mobile unit that can be moved within the procedure room and used throughout a facility. High-definition pan-tilt-zoom cameras and a 6-foot overhead boom arm provide views of the entire operating environment with 30x zoom. See procedural details up close. External imaging inputs from the procedure room, like ultrasound and X-ray, are connected into the Avail console. Two-way collaboration is made possible with a 32-inch console monitor that mirrors the remote user's view. Access a contact list of medical experts to see who's available and make a secure connection at the touch of a button. Avail is building a network of procedural expertise where healthcare professionals and the medical device industry have access to collaborate at the touch of a button. The system is HIPAA compliant and encrypted for security. Avail uses a software-as-a-service model with no upfront capital equipment purchase. We are a true full-service procedural telemedicine partner who will deliver, install, and support customers along the way.
So it's within the industry a well-known fact, and outside of the industry a little-known and quite surprising fact I came to discover during financing processes recently. Depending on the clinical type of procedure, somewhere between 25 and 100% of procedures had somebody from industry in the room. And that's an extraordinary thing from a resource perspective with these incredibly highly valued people that frankly generate a lot of expense for industry but provide extraordinary clinical value in procedures. They're landlocked in the procedure they're in, and their efficiency is destroyed in the logistics going between procedures. In fact, there's about 100,000 of these in the United States alone, costing about $40 billion annually. And in, again, the fundamental reality, if you are at Columbia University Hospital and you're in the midst of a procedure and get a call, you need to be down at NYU in 45 minutes, you're not getting there. You're not able to support your customer that is down at NYU. With the Avail system, you can do that because no longer is 50% of your time wasted in logistics and being in the operating room. Our approach is to do a no capital cost build out of a network that is vendor agnostic across the United States and ultimately across the country with world-class service to enable the delivery of education, support, and training from outside the operating room. What's that actually mean at the end of the day? To surgeons, it means they can speak to one another. They can get the experience they need from industry and from fellow care providers in a remote fashion, so the threshold requirement for getting that guidance is lower. They can also deliver the same guidance across the exact same platform at the touch of a button. Hospitals get on-demand support when they need it to enhance knowledge, and they're able to use our interconnectivity within an IDN to create connectivity amongst their clinicians and raise the overall value and level of care, so that a patient presenting in a remote facility has the exact same care experience as one presenting in the focus center, because that focus center is able to deliver that expertise remotely at the touch of a button for the length of a procedure and then go back to the rest of their day. Industry, for the first time, has whole territory real-time access to train and service customers and accelerate their growth. My team comes from a variety of backgrounds. I'm 26 years in the business at this point. My last company was Shockwave Medical. I started my career in angioplasty and was one of the first folks at Intuitive. I have folks across the spectrum of the vendors that are described here, and folks also obviously in the technology space as well as in the SaaS space. We're funded extremely well, having raised about $130 million. These are our investors. The lead in our Series A came from Lux Capital. Fred Mull is also one of our early investors. He was an investor in my last company, an investor in this current one. Fred and I worked together at Intuitive, and obviously he's had a phenomenal career in robotics. And Jay Hawkins comes from Sonder Capital currently, previously De Novo, and before that, a tenured career with much success at Guidant. As mentioned, we're building a network across the United States and ultimately all over the world. The intent here is to enable interconnectivity by anyone who is a member, if you will, of the Avail network. And with that network built, we're going to leverage it for data collection, analytics, and technique optimization with standardization opportunities across IDNs, across ASC networks. It's a vendor-neutral platform and built for the purpose of procedures. It's all Avail from beginning to end. We think it's very, very important to control the user experience so that it can be consistent and repeatable. When somebody needs to be available, they go to a console or a portal, they schedule their availability, that bounces up to the cloud, goes to the entire network, and their availability shows up as green on a console. That's tapped, and immediately an outbound phone call is placed. They answer it, and in 2 seconds, they're in the procedure room, regardless of where they are on the planet. They control their availability in an Outlook-style calendar. We think that type of capability is necessary to be able to create the access to procedure rooms that is needed for industry, for proctor support, for clinical trial management. It's a zero capital cost model. We've got a 24/7, 365 support network in place. Obviously, it's HIPAA compliant and encrypted, cloud-based as I described. And again, it's a monthly membership fee. You should be thinking about this much like a cell phone in the early 90s. We give the hospital the phone. Everybody who uses it pays for the airtime and a membership fee. Very importantly, once that console is in place and there's a network, anyone who has a membership can connect to any console anywhere within that network. And finally, we're looking at this as an opportunity to create a network of access points in these 70,000 procedure rooms we believe to be in the United States across ASCs, rural hospitals, acute cares, teaching hospitals, across clinical specialties, and we look to that as a node to be able to create data collection and data management and optimization opportunities. Thanks very much for your attention. Any questions? I'm happy to answer them after.